Good morning, my beautiful budding bakers. Boom, 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 boom. I haven't got the oven on. I haven't got anything weighed out. There's no flour. There's no sugar. I have decided for the month of October, I'm going to dedicate to all things spooktacular and Halloween for my delicious baking buddies and their beautiful, ghoulish, delicious gremlins. So, without further ado, what I'm going to do today, I am doing chocolate dipped apples for Halloween. But have a look at the Halloween cookies, oh my god, apples that I have done. So, with a bit of fun, I have done a chocolate apple with some marshmallow and googly eyes. We shall finish decoration here. I've gone for the old pinwheel multicolored flash, so it can be any type of apple leading up to Christmas. Then we've got a spider's web where we will finish it with a chocolate spider. We have got a spooktacular mummy, and it couldn't be easier. So, starting with a trusty old apple, right? Not even old, a lovely shiny green apple. I have got 200 grams of melted chocolate. Now I use Calibo chocolate, which is divine. I get it from bakeworld.ie. You can also get it from gingerbreadhouse.ie in Middleton. You can get it for stuff for cakes. You can get it practically everywhere in Ireland, but it's absolutely beautiful chocolate to work with. So, most of the Halloween apples, when my kids were smaller, I used to give them a full apple, and I'm telling you now, it was like a 4-course dinner by the time they'd actually finished the apple, and it was just too much for tiny tots. So, with the apple, I'm going to slice. Now, if you have a corer, core the apple first. I just don't have a corer. So, I'm going to slice right through the apple. This is fantastic for a gym snack. I use dark chocolate for the adults, but this is the milk chocolate. Now turn around this way, sorry, make your life that little bit easier, Trish, and move everything. So I'm using a round cutter. Can you see it's the size almost like a thumb width? It's quite small in diameter. It would be almost like maybe slightly bigger than a 20-cent piece. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to create the hole. Now, one of the things as well, just to bear in mind, that when you're creating a hole in the center of your apple, you're also reducing the stability of your apple, because obviously you've got a hole in the center. You want, this is where your brute force comes in. Come on, Trish, get your gym exercise in. So obviously this will help if it's your kids, you're doing it for your kids, you can prep everything. Now, I have kitchen paper, because with these apples, they are deliciously crunchy and sweet. So I am just going to pat the excess apple goodness to make it easier. Also, you need to press and make sure that the apples are dry before you dip into your melted chocolate. So I have got my apple ring. Yum, 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 yum. So I need to put a little hole, and this is just to guide a lollipop stick. And just like that, I'm very impressed with myself, because I can just see my glasses are hanging off the end of my apron, and I can see the hole that I have done without my glasses. So I'm very impressed with myself this morning. So I've got a lollipop stick, and in that goes. Oh, my stomach. Oh. So we have got our lollipop, and I think it is amazing. So all we have done is just to see, we have used a little knife, and I have created a little hole, and I put in a lollipop stick. Now, you could dip this into your chocolate, but by the time anyone nibbles the way through, what you don't want is any pieces of your apple falling off. So I've created a little trick. I have got marshmallow. So I don't use a full marshmallow, I half the marshmallow. So again, you think, oh my God, it squeezes into the cavity of the apple, and it is made for this apple. So you have a little cavity filled with your marshmallow. Now, one of the things as well, just so that you know the marshmallows I get, I adore the Tesco brand, because if you're making a Halloween web, and if you want to create that web effect across a cake, these are fantastic for melting in the microwave. Once they come out, you can put this smeared across a cake. I'm going to show you how we can do it in the apple. But they're fabulous and they are for nothing. So look at that. Now, obviously, they are dairy free with the apple, but you must be aware that for gluten, just in relation to the marshmallows, Tesco's ones are not gluten free. So you need to check brand of gluten free. The next thing we have, 200 grams of our melted chocolate. And all I'm doing, now these are great because the containers I use, first of all, the 200 grams of chocolate is fab because it also means you can give kids individually white chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and they can have their own little pot. So I'm tilting the container of chocolate and all I'm doing is I'm making sure every last dribbly bit of chocolate is covered. And I'm going to tap. Turn it over. I'm getting rid of the excess because obviously you don't need to have that much chocolate. Now the other thing, the great thing about this, I have been so scientific in this apple slices, is that weighing out, they are almost identical in relation to the chocolate quantity used. And it's about 25 grams of chocolate per apple slice. So what is lovely, these are fantastic for lunches, for kids' lunches leading up to Halloween. You can use crushed almonds. If there are no nuts involved in a classroom, you can put your dried apricots, dried cranberries. They're absolutely delicious. This is milk chocolate I'm using. The reason I'm using milk chocolate is because the apples that I'm using are the Granny Smiths, where they're quite sharp. They do have a sweetness, but they have a slight sour bite, and it's nice to counteract that with some milk chocolate. So there you have your chocolate, and down it goes to set. So I'm going to leave that to set. It won't take that long because I've tempered my chocolate. So again, it's as easy as the adults can get the apples prepped. It's such a lovely thing to do. It's really fun because I must confess with the kids, with my kids, it was like, oh, can I have it in white chocolate? Can I have it in dark chocolate? So you decide. Oh, see, look at this now. Guess what I have forgotten? I have forgotten my marshmallow. With all me gobbing about, I forgot my marshmallow. I forgot my marshmallow. It'll look like an apple donut. Let's puncture. Stop it. We could call these apple donuts. Chocolate apple slice donut. Now it is preferable to put the marshmallow in the center because it does stabilize the apple. But look, even I, on Facebook Live, make a mistake. I forgot to put in my marshmallow. We'll see how that fares. We could actually make it, we could make it into a face with some eyes while that is wet. Let's put that on there. And because I have some trusty eyes, these are the eyes, by the way. I got those, you can get them in Gingerbread House. You can get them in Stuffer Cakes, although I think Stuffer Cakes might be out of them because they do fly out the door. They're also selling them in Home Store and more. So just like that, let's create an eye. So then it'll look like it's going with an open mouth. I'll just put that in like so. So the only reason I'm just continuing on in relation to the apple is because what I don't want is I don't want the apples to go brown. And they also give me enough time for those apples to start setting so we can do some decorating. Again, just to pat your apple. Don't forget your marshmallow. Squeeze the marshmallow into the center. Tell you now, this is very satisfying. It is great fun for kids because the kids think it's absolutely hilarious. Now, note to self, make sure the sticky side of your marshmallow is facing you. So when you pat the apple dry, it doesn't stick to your kitchen paper. Lads, I need a stronger coffee this morning. So in goes again. I can't tell you how relaxing this is for me even to do. I love working with chocolate. But when you can get creative with apple slices, it's perfect to give an apple slice to a kid rather than the full apple. I always find what they do, they'll either lick the outside like a lab, lick the outside of their chocolate apple, take a little nibble, and that's about it, and you've just wasted a full apple. Whereas we've already got 3 apple slices ready to decorate. And don't ever forget about the heels of the apple as well. They could be the chef's treat. They are divine. And again, you don't have to have a full ring. You can cut your apple and core it into little quarters. and again, get creative with the design. But I love doing these because I just think they're actually very therapeutic. Again, so give it a bit of a twisty, twisty, twisty. And I just want to make sure that the chocolate is covered with the apple. Because one of the things you need to be aware as well, when you're coating your chocolate slices, to make sure you coat all of the apple. Because obviously they will sit for a day beautifully. The second day, fine. The third day, they begin to weep. And the weep, they will just literally have some just apple juice coming from the apple slices. But they're devoured within 24 hours, so don't ever think that you can even keep them for 3 days, not a hope. And again, perfect for school lunches, or you can go down the healthy route and do them with dried fruit and loads of other goodies. Okay, so that's our milk chocolate. We have some white chocolate. Now, the white chocolate, I haven't done 200 grams of white chocolate, I've done about 100 grams of white chocolate. The only reason is that this is going to be for decorative purposes. So if I wanted to completely coat the chocolate apples again, I would use the 200 grams because the 200 grams just gives a nice amount of your chocolate. This is your Belgian Calabo chocolate. So I'm going to put it into my trusty little glass. This is just because I don't have a helper to hold. And I'm just going to put in a small amount, and this is going to create our little seal, and we fold it all the way down, and this is where we can create our decorative chocolate. So I'm going to take a tiny little nip at the top. And just make sure our chocolate's coming out. Excellent. Now, that's the other thing too. When you're working with chocolate, always hold your bag up, because obviously if you turn it upside down, it'll dribble chocolate all over your worktop. So let's grab this one. And then we can do a spiral. So all I'm doing is just going around and around and around and around. Keeping it up. And we have white chocolate and marshmallows. Now, this is another thing as well. The reason the marshmallow bruised apple, there is nothing worse in life than picking up an apple and eating the soft bruise of an apple. I cannot stand it. So I took out the chunk of the apple, which looked a bit like a bug bite, and I covered it with my marshmallows. And then when the white chocolate is actually wet, you can just do a little sprinkling. And the reason I'm showing this is that obviously for Halloween, you can go for the Halloween sprinkles. Again, I got these in the gingerbread house in Middleton. They're about $3.50. They're fantastic just because I just love the colour of them. And again, you have got an apple slice with some sprinkles. Now, as we're letting these chocolate slices dry, I am going to show you how to do this one. This is another fab one. This is using marshmallows, but wait until you see the magic that is marshmallow. So, I get 2 marshmallows, and we're going to put it into the microwave for about, we'll say about 20 seconds. I'm going to get a fork ready. Don't need my chopping board. Clean as you go! Clean as you go! Although it looks rather chaotic, it normally is when you're working with chocolate and children. But this marshmallow is hilarious. It's sticky, it's web-like. You do need to sit it on something like a non-stick silicone mat or even a plastic bag, because as the marshmallow starts to dry, it sticks. So if you try and put that on parchment paper, as you pull your apple, not only will the marshmallow stick on the paper, also your chocolate. So you'll end up with a bare-arsed apple slice. Nobody wants a bare-arsed apple slice. We need about maybe 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So with this marshmallow, I am using the googly eyes for the apple slice. Zoom. 2 marshmallows. So we have 2 marshmallows in the microwave, which look so cool. We have a dry apple slice. And this is where you see the, give it a stir, because as you're stirring it, you're cooling down the marshmallow. And then it's going to get quite string-like. Smells divine. And then you literally ziggy-zaggy your marshmallow over your chocolate slice. Now I'm trying to extend it because what I want is those web-like strands of marshmallow to go over. If I was doing this on a cake, I would actually wait a couple of seconds so that the marshmallow cools down, and then I'll oil my hands and then I'll stick it across the cake, and it just gives this fantastic web effect. Look at this. Looks like white snot. The kids are going to love this. And again, you're not talking 4 million marshmallows, you're talking 2 marshmallows, and they have been melted in a container. Whoa, whoa, so sticky. How cool is that? It's just something for the kids to do and a bit of fun. Now, as I mentioned, the base of this particular apple slice is covered in your, oh, look at that. Okay, so the next thing we need are our eyes. I need some eyes. And we're going to put one at the top, and just to give it a bit of a, maybe one down here, just to look like as if they're peeking out. And again, as I said, something fun, just using 2 marshmallows and your dipped chocolate apple slices. So one of the things next week I am thinking in advance is doing gingerbread, but gingerbread men, again, with some fun, some sugarcraft involved. So for the month of October, I'm going to do Halloween, but I'm also going to do Halloween with sugarcraft. With the Cork Sugarcraft Guild, if any of you know about the Cork Sugarcraft Guild, I will be demonstrating on the 12th of October about and I'm pasting a fruit cake, so check out their website. So that, the back of this is still quite tacky. So I'm putting it on a silicone parchment paper, not parchment paper, silicone paper, so that it won't stick. So as you can see, it'll stick, but not on the silicone. Once it's dry, you can actually remove it. But what I tend to do is I will dip the back of the marshmallow apple slice into chocolate so it doesn't stick at all, because it can get quite tacky. So that's our marshmallow one. We have our spider one. Moving on, we have our spider web, and I'll show that in a minute. So with this one, we're going to add a spider. Love the spider. So the spider is literally a Malteser, and it's cut in 2. So we have a half a spider. Ah, we need more googly eyes. My googly eyes. My googly eyes. Where are my googly eyes? Googly eyes are behind you, Trish. And again, these are just hilarious. I mean, how cool would these be even to bring them into the office? Listen, you never grow up, for goodness sake. So we have our white chocolate. I'm going to put a tiny bit just on the back. So I'm going to put a tiny bit on our, there we go. And we'll probably do maybe one more at the top. So you've got the body of our Malteser. Now one of the things I will do, because I don't really want the white, I will get some brown, and I'll put some brown into a little piping bag. Oh, and actually, I did think of something this morning. My mind never stops. So I'm just going to give this one last stir, because this is getting quite thick. So obviously when you leave it out, you can leave it in this container, because the container, when it solidifies the chocolate, it's easy to crack. You can just crack the sides very gently, and you've got this gorgeous lump of chocolate. One of the things I did do, because if you do get your marshmallows and your lollipop sticks, is I just create a jack-o'-lantern little face on a marshmallow. And again, in that goes. Looks like he's got a fringe. Love it. And this is only something fun. The reason I did this was because, first of all, if you've got your marshmallows and if you want to get your apples coated and everything else, start thinking of what else you can use with your lollipop sticks and your marshmallows. But this is perfect for stirring your hot chocolate, because you've got your hot chocolate just enough, and then you've got it looks like an Elvis Presley jack-o'-lantern. But I love it. So that goes onto our thing to rest. Have I got another one? I have another one. I have another one upside down. So we'll do. It looks like a beard. I will do the same thing again. It looks like as if he's. This one looks like he's got hammered. Oh, lads. But listen, isn't that what it's all about? Having a bit of fun with chocolate and kids. And you have to be a big kid yourself. So we're going to put a tiny bit of chocolate. This is creating the legs on the spider, just to show you how easy it is. And again, we'll fold that over, and we have got our little scissors to snip. And just to bring it up so I can see what I'm doing, even though again I forgot my glasses or my thing. Now I will put them on because lads, we're going to do the spider's eyes. Just giving it a bit of a squeeze to make sure that it's coming out. Perfect. So I'm going to put a tiny bit here, and that's only to secure our big, huge gobble eyes. And just like this is just having a bit of fun. You don't have to put a spider. If I put a spider on my daughter Lucy's apple core, she would have a heart attack. It's the one thing she cannot stand are spiders. Spiders, I don't mind, but if they've got boots and look as if they need to pay rent in my house, they're the ones I won't pick up. So just get rid of the chocolate. And your finger. Ooh, sticky, sticky, sticky. So before I put on our little legs, so we have got our marshmallows, and we're going to put on some legs. Now, if this is already setting, a little tip, put it back in the microwave. So put it in the microwave, greaseproof paper and all, for about 5 seconds. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. 4, a 5. And again, just make sure that it's going to manipulate. No, needs another little bit. So we have our chocolate. Looking for a little harder one. Oh yeah, perfect. There we go. I could do this all morning. Make the hole that little bit bigger. Make my life a little bit easier. Oh, they're going Facebook Live and the chocolate deciding to not. Okay. So we'll just put on a few funny legs so that it looks like a spider. Now doing this upside down, can't really see. Doesn't really matter as long as it has just a bit of fun. It's amazing how fast the chocolate will set when you've got it tempered. Squeeze it out. Anyway, look, I'll finish that once we've time. But just to give you an idea of your 2 half Maltesers with the with the start of very disfigured spider's legs with your dipped apple slices. The same goes for the technique with this. It was just white chocolate, and I have put white chocolate into a bag, and I've done a zippy, 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 and I put the eyes on. We have our sprinkles. We're leaving this dry because it'll take that little bit longer. Anything that involves the piping bag is fabulous because it means it encourages you to use your piping bag, and it also means that you're using your piping skills. If you have chocolate that's left in a piping bag, leave it, put it into the fridge and go cold. Because once it starts to solidify, you have got another blob of chocolate that you can use, and you can grate that with your grater, and you can use for decoration. So don't ever throw out your icing bags, particularly when you've got chocolate and because it's expensive. So today was apple slices galore with Maltesers, marshmallows and everything else. You just have a trusty apple. You have either a core or a very small stone cutter, or metal cutter would work best because obviously the apples are quite hard to work with. Prep the apples in advance. I will do stage by stage and put it up on the website, on Facebook even, not the website. Please, if you can, remember to share, spread the gospel, because as you're aware, my classes are still suspended. So it means the more people know about me, the more famous I shall become, and I might be able to have cheese, crackers, and some grapes with my dinner. So today, thank you very much for watching. So next Sunday, I'm going to do gingerbread. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do the gingerbread. I will have it dressed again with the Halloween theme, but this time I might give you all the ingredients in advance so you could bake along with me on Sunday and have all the bits and pieces ready in advance so you could buy all your goodies on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, ready for next Sunday. So next Sunday I shall see you again at 10 a.m. for more Spooktacular events.